Yeah, people, top notch video. Talawa TV is in the building and the Nicardo Media House, Morning Insider. Talawa, respect for coming through again. As you don't know, it's match day, nerve wracking day. As you don't know, 3 points is a must later. Nothing less than 3 points. And if we could get a point, then, kudos for the boys. But 3 points, clean sheet will go in. Yeah, thanks for being on here again. And Nicardo Media was first time over here, first time on the Morning Insider show. The people, the morning brew. As you said, you watched this video, on your lunch break, and it was very digestive of, refreshing of eating your lunch. By the way, what you were consuming at the time watching the Morning Insider of Thursday?
Do you know what? I kept it very simple. Before I forget, my manners, thank you so much for the invite. It's my debut. Hopefully it won't be the last. But answering your question, I kept it very simple. So I had some croissant, made sure I had my tea. I took a little break from drinking tea because
English. The English.
I think maybe like 2 weeks ago, I was consuming a lot of tea. I had like 6 cups of teas in one day, which is a lot. And because in my mind it calms me down. It probably don't, but in my mind I'm like, when I get too stressed, I'm like, let me go drink a tea. But I think I had one too many, and the caffeine gave me like heart palpitations. So I had my tea, my croissant, some eggs, and tofu. Don't know if you've had tofu before.
Yeah. I had tofu. The first time having tofu in America, I got it from a UK born Jamaican, but he grew up in Cheltenham. I think that's how I'm pronouncing it. Cheltenham. Yeah, so he grew up in Cheltenham. So it's match day. You're anxious, anticipation, nerve wracking. What you think?
Listen, I am sweating buckets, mate. I am sweating quite literally. Always nervous on match day, isn't it? Because you don't really know what to expect. I always say to people that yesterday's result doesn't count. Especially if today's result don't go the way we want to. No one's going to say, oh, but we did XYZ the last window and so on. So it's a clean slate. Every match day is a clean slate. Hopefully the lads can go out there in a couple of hours time and get the all important 3 points. I always like to say go for the win, almost like aim for the, did they say aim for the moon? What did I say?
Aim for the top, man. Just aim for the top.
Yeah,
ceilings,
because I think exactly, you have to have that mindset, aim for the sky is the limit, as you said, because I think the issue with playing for a draw is there is no safety net. That's the way I look at it. Like very risky. So for me, it's always aim for a win. If it doesn't go according to plan, then at least you might say, let's just settle for a draw.
Yeah. So would have heard the news of, the Damari Gray situation before the boys traveled to Curaçao that, he picked up a knock and he's on his way back to the UK. Not sure if he quite reached as yet, but I mean, did that move anything inside of you of, losing a Demi, because of injury, or, we have a safe net of players that can get the job done?
I'll say first and foremost, speedy recovery to him. I hope that it's not. I hope that the injury won't keep him on the sideline for too long, because he's only, I think, just finding his rhythm when he moved back. He's a Brummy boy back at Birmingham City. He scored a delightful goal the other day. And what a way to mark your return. So I hope that he isn't on the sideline for too long. But with regards to the 2 games that we've got for this window, it's no disrespect to him, but I don't think it's going to hinder the game plan. And I'm just saying that because of how we looked over the last string of games, which unfortunately Damari Gray was unavailable as one of the big name players in the squad. So I think based on what we've seen from the lads, with the exclusion of the big names and the poster boy as well, I think we should be okay.
Yeah, I think when you even look at the attacking players of Cephas, Dixon, Kadamatieri, Ramon Burrell is back after missing out from September, but Demi, I'm a little bit worried to see Demi missing back-to-back windows because of injury. Someone that always turn up for the national team, but it just sucks in a way that he's after returning back to the UK after not playing any minutes. I know he want to get on the pitch with the players and to fight, to do anything to get the country over the line. But Curaçao will be without another player that played in the UK. I think Sheffield. I think it's Tiati Chong.
He made a move recently from Luton, didn't he?
Yeah, so he's not going to be there as well. So you think that will someone that scored a brace in their last home game versus Bermuda. That would be a massive miss for the Curaçao team, especially in that midfield where, the Bakuna brothers, another two players that usually, apply them trade in England as well. So Tiati Chong, for them, that would be a massive miss for them. What you think about that one?
Listen, I don't wish injuries on anyone, but when I realized that he was going to be a miss, I was like, thank God, that's one less issue to worry about. And I wish the young man the
Yeah,
speedy recovery,
yeah,
but I was like, because he is their poster boy, and he's a poster boy that's back in his chat, and he's got this uniqueness about him because we know that that's quite literally his birthplace, isn't it?
I don't
And
want to cut you, but as a United Academy player, he is their Greenwood.
he is.
He
He is.
is.
He is.
Yeah,
He is. But again, that's why I said, he's quite literally a poster boy who's living up to the name so far. And for his sake and his career, long may it continue. Thank God he's not playing against us this
yeah.
window. But yeah, I think he will be a miss. If you go back and look against I think they played Bermuda in their last
Bermuda,
match,
yeah,
right?
Bermuda, yeah, play Bermuda.
That young boy was pulling the strings, Nicardo. Like
Yeah,
he was pulling the strings. I think if memory serves me well, he scored the opening goal, and
yeah,
from there on, he
yeah,
was he was involved in the next
yeah.
two
Next
goals
one.
to
Yeah,
come, right? But yeah, I think it'll be a massive miss for them. But I think luckily for Curaçao, they're not a one man band.
yeah,
That they'll be able to get on with it because quite literally you don't have a choice. They're experienced players. These are players who are in the team there who have won respectable honors for
yeah.
their clubs. So
And
they
can
know
I
what
can
it
I
means.
say this, Talawa, as well? Can I
Mm,
say this where they have players for FC20, they have players, at PSV, Sparta
exactly.
Rotterdam, so many players in the Dutch Eredivisie League. You understand? So it's not a one-man banner, but I believe that, with a Demari Gray and a Tiati Chong, I think that they will miss more, Tiati Chong than the Reggae Boys will miss a Demari Gray because our team is a proven team that show that we can win without a Baylor, we can win without Antonio, we can win without a Demari Gray of last window. So we have backups, we have young guns, Seymour Reed is in the building, Dojan Whisper Richards is in the building, so these players are pumped up, they're highly motivated to go out there and to shine and to show the country that look, they are the next big things that going to come after these boys. So I want to hear your perspective on whether it's the bigger miss will be Tiati Chong or Demargre. Which team will miss the injured player the most?
I think you said it quite beautifully there in a nutshell. Again, for me, we have seen just how well, fortunately, our boys have performed without the big name
Yeah,
players. Even from in the summer or coming towards the summer, the ending of last season's campaign when they played in the Unity Cup.
yeah,
Unfortunately, there was a fell off when we went to the Gold Cup, and one can argue and say, well, it's because you made the reintroduction of the bigger name players, but we have not seen the best of Damari Gray, and unfortunately, going back to what you've said, much of that is attributed to his unfortunate inability to stay fit because
yeah,
he's always almost in some sense playing catch up on himself. He goes in the he goes in the injury room, he comes back out of the recovery room, and unfortunately back on the sidelines again, quite similar to Leon Bailey. But as it relates to us as a team, it's no shade on Damari, but so far he has not been missed, and it is Jamaica first, and I'd like to
yeah,
think that we'll continue on without him in a positive fashion.
yeah. So we're going to move on to another segment in the video where we're going to talk about key players going into this game. We know Demar Gray missed, Isaac Keeney will be missed, Casey Palmer will be missed in the next game. Who you think is a key player going into this game that look, this player, it's a must that he perform in the game coming later from now.
That's an excellent question. I think when you're in such a decisive tournament, you can't leave that down to one player. I don't think we are in a position where it's just a one man band. And I think that's quite fortunate for us because if you look back over our last string of goal scorers, it's spread out across the board, isn't it? There isn't one instance where it's just one goal scorer alone. I think we've so far, especially with last month in mind, we've had goal scorers coming from defense, midfield, the wing, and also the center forward. So there isn't that one key player that so far stood up and grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. You've had players who have played contributing factors to the end result, but we've not had a one standout player so far. I guess that's the reason why people are looking and saying, why didn't Tyrese Hall get the heads up to come into the team and pull some strings for us? But there isn't that one standout player. I guess for me, one of the big things I'm looking forward to is it was inevitable. It is the reintroduction of Captain Andre Blake between the sticks, because it's not to say pressure is on you, but you need to keep a clean sheet, because the guy that filled your void kept two the back clean sheets. So we now need a hat trick of clean sheets in our back pocket, and that's where my eyes are fixated on. Can we continue with the clean sheets? But I don't have a player in mind. I'm just like, yeah, you're going to be my standout star.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way how you put that down of, goals are coming from everywhere, Nanalo, Cephas, Palmer, Nicholson, Russell. So we got 2 goals from the midfield, we got 2 goals from our centre forward. Cephas got goal, Damian Lowe got goal as a centre half. And also 2 goals were contributed by Greg Lay of back-to-back games, so it's a contribution, a collective of everything on the pitch. But we have to talk about the captain, Andre Blake, coming back after injury, I want to talk about when we went to, remember we won back-to-back on Central American soil when we beat Nicaragua and we beat Honduras in Steve McLaren first couple of games in the Nations League. He put on a show in those games where he collected over, 10 saves in both games combined together. So going in away games, keeper, it's going to be challenging as well. Know that our defensive line, come on, Talawa, we have to be realistic. No, they are not getting the minutes. So we don't know if they're going to be good today. We don't know if they're going to be bad tomorrow. So we're not sure what type of Ethan Pinnock. God bless, hope it's not the Gold Cup farm that we get from these players, but they need to be solid. Again, with Andre Blake in the goal, that will bring extra security, for these players to say, okay, someone is behind us that we can trust. Even if things goes wrong in the midfield, goes wrong in the defense line, it will not go wrong with Andre Blake. And this is a player that over the last 5 to 8 years is the most consistent player for the national team. That's why he is a captain. That's why he just won the supportive shield for Philadelphia Union. So we see why his performances speak volume for club and country. So for me, I would say Andre Blake going into these away games, he is the most important player for us because it shows that we can get goals in this group stage, but we are not conceded. But as you said, Jamal Wade collect 2 clean sheets. So the pressure is on Blakey. He cannot concede. He cannot concede in these games. So I mean, there's no one in around the ranks now to challenge Blakey for a spot. Without that, maybe that goalkeeper on a ban as yet. maybe that goalkeeper on a ban as yet. You understand? So I want to talk about, the important games that, looking at Curaçao, AstroTurf. We don't really see much international games played on AstroTurf. How much do you think that play into the fact of, more advantage of the Curaçao team?
Look, we saw Bermuda play on it, didn't we?
Yeah.
And they pegged them back to the
Yeah.
point where it looked like this is going to be squeaky bum time. This is going for a blockbuster finish. Can they let it be a 6-goal thriller? Saying that to say, I think these type of games where you're looking at going back to the promised land for the first time since 98, you have to be prepared for any weather. It's no different. It's like going to war. You have to be prepared that sometimes it might be snowing. Sometimes you might be looking at the sun beating down on your back. It might be pissing down with rain. Be prepared. Track and field is probably a great sport to look at. Like sprinters have to be prepared for any single weather. And similar to today's circumstances, the players would have known by now, like we know what to expect with CONCACAF football. Sometimes you're going to get games that's being played on AstroTurfs and you have to prepare yourself for this. And I guess some of the lads there in the team, especially the ones there born in England, growing up, you would have played on AstroTurfs. Like, you know what it's like to play in
That's the
AstroTurfs.
kid.
You know what it's like.
Cage football.
Exactly. You know how it's like to play in cage football in it. So it can't even be. Yes, it's something that you need to think of, and it might play a way in. It might play a role in how we approach the game, but
Yeah.
performance wise, you need to go out there and get the job done. We're one step closer to going on that plane to next summer's World Cup. So hopefully it won't be a hindrance.
I mean, you said an important thing about we are one step away. I would need to get the important result, but we cannot lose this game. Lose this game, they will go above of us by 1 point. So that will put more pressure on us coming November when the at home. That playing Curaçao at home is a must-win game, and we can't afford to go down that road. But I believe that the prediction of the scores, I'm strongly think that it's going to be a 1-1. But the back of my mind, I want the Reggae Boys to win. But I believe it's going to be a 1-1 game. It's sold out. It's a sold out venue. Dick Advocate talk about. You said you watched my video yesterday as well. Dick Advocate talk about when he just trying to put the team. It was like 2,000 fans in the stadium. Now they
Hmm.
experiencing 10, 12,000 jam pack arena. And I'm not sure if you know about Curacao, but the Jamaicans people that live in Curacao, it's a massive Jamaican fan base as well. So expect to see a lot of black, green, and gold in the stadium later from now. But I'm not sure how much of the tickets they will get. Like the Papimento people, as that's their local language, the Papimento. Yeah, I heard this language. My dad usually have ex-girlfriend used to travel and work in Curacao, and I heard the Papimento before. It's one of the weird language I've ever heard. It's totally different when I heard the players speak Dutch and
Yeah.
Papimento. So hopefully the Reggae Boys can turn Papimento into reggae tomorrow. The Naya Bingi jump I'll be hitting at the stadium. But how we would go ahead and solve this midfield knowing that Casey is not there, Isaac Hayden, is not there. Our most crucial player at number 6. We have Ian Frey, Bobby, John, and also Joshua Anglin from Mount Pleasant. I mean, you see any chance of the coach put a square pegs in run holes and put Joel Latibody or Aaron Analo in the midfield, which Reggae Boys fans might eat my head off at this moment to say, hey, Nick, how you do? No Joel or Damian Lowe in the midfield. You understand? But you think it might cross his mind to put one of those warrior players in that central department?
Um, Trying to think back to the last. From if memory serves me well, isn't it just Isaac Hayden that accumulated back to back yellow cards?
And Casey Palmer as well.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh wow. That's quite interesting because then
yeah.
why would you bring both players into?
S- s-
Why would he then bring
Yeah,
both
that's
players?
Casey. I tell you where Casey Palmer picked up the yellow card. He picked up one in the Trinidad game. He picked up a yellow card in the Trinidad game and also in the British Virgin Island game. So he get 2 yellow cards in the qualifier. You miss the next game.
But didn't they do it as back to back games that
I
you
don't.
have to
It
do it?
doesn't seem like that. Doesn't seem like that.
I think it's a case of you have to do it over the like for the third round, for example, it would be
I
back to
know
back
Isaac
games.
Eden picked up back-to-back yellow card in the Bermuda, and
Yeah, Isaac
yeah,
Hayden is definitely the
yeah.
midfield issue, I think. But I think it's a case of
I
in
mean,
terms of this
yeah.
in terms of this round, I think it's you have to have had accumulated back to back.
Let's see.
Um,
They will correct us in the comment section, but let's see though. But I mean,
wow.
we would put that on a stand. But you see why a lot of people out crying for not to have a Dojan Whisper Richards in the team of getting an additional midfielder.
Understand a little bit more because I was so focused on Isaac Hayden. I was thinking, okay, it might just be only Isaac Hayden. So then why would you bring two players into camp when you know you have a midfield issue and you know that both are not going to be eligible for such a pivotal game?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
It doesn't like why would I'm trying to answer your question by the way, but I'm just still trying to think
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the
I'm
logical
not
sense
sure.
behind that.
I thought
Because
about it.
now it's completely thrown me off because now I'm thinking, well, how do Yeah, he might just be doing that. He might be moving Damien into midfield. It might be a case of he might put.
Did you ever seen the pitch? It's a close knit pitch.
It is very
Very
close. It's
compact pitch.
very close to the action.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why he would do that, Nicardo. Like, it's completely thrown me off. Like, it's completely thrown me off. Yeah, you're probably right. He's probably going to put Nana in midfield. I guess we'll know in a couple of hours' time.
Yeah,
But
we really don't know who it's going to be, but
no, like,
I mean, look,
oh,
this game, to be honest, this game going to be a smash and grab. You know those away games in the EPL. You know, Arsenal, your team going to the Britannia Stadium down at Stoke City. It's just a smash and grab. We don't know, man. We don't know, but it's going to be a important game tomorrow to see if the Reggae Boy team will actually set up this midfield, because I'm looking at it like maybe Nana Low or a Joe Latibody might as well, get shift in that midfield department.
listen, you've asked the golden question, because yeah, you've asked a golden question. That's really like puzzled me for midfield. I don't think he would be that naive though, Nicardo. I don't think he would know that a player that picked up, because British Virgin Islands, when did we play again? That was like in the first round, right?
That was in June.
So that
That was a group with Guatemala.
okay, so that was, what was that, the second round?
That was the second round, yes.
Yeah, I feel like the rules are different for the third round though. I feel like they don't carry over the
That's when we had
accumulation into the
Guatemala,
third
where
round.
we played Guatemala, Dominica Republic, and Dominica and British Virgin Island. That was the group.
Yeah, I feel I don't think McLaren will be that silly to know that you have a midfield. Think about it, like you have a midfield issue. Why would you bring, and he's always added emphasis to Isaac Hayden, hasn't he? How important Isaac
Yes.
Hayden is. And I'm thinking, I don't understand that. Like, yeah, I think you're right. I think he's probably going to put,
Yeah.
or maybe he's going to play Lati out of position again and put
Yeah.
him in midfield. But yeah, that one has definitely thrown me off guard.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it, people. Wrapping up at this moment. Thanks for watching. Talawa TV is here. Hope you guys go over there and support the only woman, female, and the battlefield, covering the Reggae girls and the Reggae boys together. Talawa, respect for coming through again. It's a morning show. The people, the morning tea, the morning brew. I mean, your last say before we close out.
No, thank you again for giving me the debut. It's an honor doing
Yeah.
streams with yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, won't be the first and the last, but
Yeah.
I love the last question because that's forced me to think.
Yeah.
Even now I'm thinking, but I swear to you, I'm
Yeah,
still
yeah,
thinking.
yeah, 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 yeah. So people, I'm out, bless up to the people and salute.